fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
December 28th is National Pledge of Allegiance Day. It's also National Chocolate Candy Day, as well as National Card Playing Day. For you Catholics, December 28th is also Holy Innocents Day, better known as the Feast of the Holy Innocents. So, taking a cue from the legendary Bob the Garbage Man, and in honor of this post-Christmas week, let this past Tuesday, therefore, forever be known as the Holy Innocents Day Blitz of 2021. I'm Jim Hutchinson, New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine, and that, my friends, was the scene from the beach on Tuesday afternoon. It began in the morning with stripers on Bunker, it appears, here, Brick Beach, moving north through Maniloking to Bay Head, and then boom, back down to Brick again. Pencils, Polaris poppers, metal lips, swim shads, teasers, no teasers. Sometimes it was lure lands, 2 cranks on the reel, and boom! Again, it was just about anywhere you went along this stretch. They were popping up from 20 inches to 20 pounds, and even, boom, heavier in some places. Sorry, that's in honor of the great John Madden, the late John Madden. Rest in peace, Coach. Now, this movable feast of sorts started along the Ocean County beaches over the weekend. I realized that when we were doing our weekly forecast, our weekly reports for thefisherman.com, compiling them on Monday morning. In fact, if you saw the bi-weekly email alert earlier this week, it came out on Tuesday, the image of a shoeless Lauren Gonzalez. She and her dad got into the Monday morning action. Al Gonzo, he said they were just a little late on one of those little blitzes, but they were here. I've heard of similar blitzes popping up in Monmouth County, up around Sandy Hook, Seabright, and I expect, no, I hope that this will continue well into the new year, 2022, at least for another couple of weeks. They're there, they're gone, they pop up, you drive north, you drive south, you hope for the best. But as Chris Bukta put it in his social media post on Tuesday, quote, crazy top water beach bite on December 28th, no time for waiters, all fish on pencils. So many of the party boats then, you'll see them along this stretch coming out of Manasquan. They've been getting in on some of this action. So if your boat is laid off, you're getting frustrated, tired of chasing these pop-up schools wherever they are, you can find a list of party boats and the 6-pack charters as well, which continue to sail here at the Jersey Shore. You'll find that in the January edition of the Fisherman magazine. You could use it as a resource, if you will, to find out who's sailing and what they're going out to catch. Now, Dennis Portland, he tells me that he was out on the Gambler. Captain Bobby Bogan ran that boat on the day after Christmas, and Dennis said they had a great time with the striped bass just inshore here, and nothing but stripers from 26 to 38 inches all on the shad. As a matter of fact, I found out from Bobby on Tuesday morning, when all this action was blowing up along these Ocean County beaches, that he was just outside of Manasquan, limited out in the first half an hour, and then went looking around for some of these fish. Bucky D'Agostino let me know that he was just north of Barnegat Inlet during the Tuesday melee. He called it absolutely unreal. He said December is the new November. Go figure. 30 stripers caught between noon and 2 p.m. on Tuesday. He said he had planned to troll, but when they started, 4 fish on, 4 rods going off at once, he and his wife just decided to throw the shads in the middle of the birds, and they lucked into some of these fish as well. That's what it's about. The birds, lucking into the birds, driving up and down these beaches looking for the birds, going from street to street looking for the birds, and if you're running and gunning, that's what you're looking for. Especially for those who are running up and down the Ocean County beaches. Now, farther south into South Jersey, Atlantic County, Cape May County, the action continues to impress. I got a report from Dennis Huber and his son Tommy. Tommy works over at Riptide Bait and Tackle in Brigantine. They were out, had 85 bass on Monday, just outside of Absecon Inlet. They were from 30 to 35 inches. So the action continues. Dennis called it the best striper fishing he's ever seen in his life. And we're in December. We're after Christmas. He and Tommy started trolling the usual umbrellas, the mojos, and spoons. They said they caught so many it got boring. He said we switched over to weighted shads and had incredible jig action until that got boring. So then he and Tommy started throwing the top waters to get a pair of bass on the same plug. Well, that certainly ain't boring, if you ask me. This late run of striped bass in the southern half of the Garden State has been really good news, and not just for anglers in Atlantic and Cape May County, but for the Delawareans as well, as those folks from the first state are running off of Cape May County in search of those rockfish. In the bay itself, we got word from the Delaware Division of Fish and Wildlife. It's been white perch and catfish in the upper bay from Newcastle to Port Penn. Quiet in the middle, but still good tog fishing on the outer wall and along the icebreakers as well. The big question, of course, regarding these striped bass is just exactly what's in store and for how long. Your guess is probably as good as mine. But if we look to the north, Matty Fish reported back to me again this week. He said it's still going strong outside of Sandy Hook. He said had his boat out earlier this week and saw fish tight into the beach, what he called it a surfcaster's dream. He only saw a couple of guys out there fishing. But the way he put it, it was all the stripers he could handle by boat, and all of them on the bunker spoons. So this has been a strange season for striped bass, and folks who called it quits weeks ago are missing out on a few very unique December opportunities, especially here at the Jersey Shore. But the tog fishing has also been unique. I'm still getting reports from folks who are catching tog in the back, along the jetties, in the canal, along some of the bridge abutments as well, throughout New Jersey. So having a good shot at a shore-based tog in December at spots from Cape May, Atlantic City, the rocks there, on up to the canal and some of the other jetties, it's still there. And just another option for you this weekend as we go into the first weekend of 2022. I'll remind you again that black sea bass will come to a close this weekend. Friday is your very last opportunity to score until the spring of 2022 in terms of black sea bass. Folks are still heading offshore. They'll still be heading offshore on Friday. Guys like Ralph Lair, Captain Ralph on the Last Lady out of Neptune. He had the Rich Clark charter out this week for a big exacta box of 18 to 24 inch black sea bass, plus a monkfish, plus some ling, and a couple of porgies. He said the flutter jigs were working just as well as the bait on that trip, so hopefully you get an opportunity to score on those biscuits before the season's out. Also, as I mentioned last week, once black sea bass is closed, there are still boats sailing though into 2022. Whatever else is swimming, depending on the boat that's going out there. You know, some of these boats continue to find some of these stripers, and that's just that's amazing. That should continue into January. You've got porgies. Some boats will be scoring for ling. Also, you still have an opportunity. Did I mention blackfish? Yeah, tog will continue. We're going to drop one fish from the bag limit on January 1st, but that will continue through February. Talking about stripers, I also mentioned last week as a reminder, the Back Bay striped bass season in the Garden State is closed. As of January 1st, it will run that closure through Monday, February 28th. A bunch of texts that I received, some phone calls as well, asking for specifics about that closure. We can turn to the New Jersey Marine Fisheries Digest for 2021. It's still in local tackle shops. You can get one going to NJ Fish and Wildlife, but turn to page 14 for the answer to that, where exactly the Back Bay starts in terms of where you're not allowed to target striped bass. Specifically, the Back Bay and inlets are delineated from ocean waters by something called the Colregs demarcation line. You'll find that line on a chart or by using the Navionics app on your phone. I highly recommend you downloading that app. From this Navionics screen grab, you'll see where that Colregs demarcation line is. We used Absecon Inlet as an example. From that easternmost tip of the jetty in Atlantic City straight across to the easternmost tip of the jetty at Brigantine. Listen, I'm not an enforcement officer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge. I'm just telling you what the rules are in terms of where you are and where you're not allowed to target stripers. Here's fine, but look for that Colregs demarcation line, and it's essentially along the eastern front of the shore, not in the middle, not in the back. Colregs, for what it's worth, is also known as the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea. I'm not sure where they came up with Colregs as the acronym, but waters outside that Colregs line are designated as They are outside the line. They're the coal regs. When you're inside the coal regs demarcation line, you are in inland Back Bay waters. If your New Year's Eve, New Year's weekend plans has maybe some farther inshore plans, like into the freshwater line, which for the most part, I always thought the freshwater line was just west of the Garden State Parkway, but I'm probably wrong about that as well. But if you are going to go hunting for some winter options, winter freshwater options, let's get a freshwater report from my friend George, the Pocono Outdoors guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. I hope everyone's out enjoying some of this holiday week and getting out and doing a little fishing. But if you're out looking for a little ice fishing, I think you're out of luck, guys. You know, we've been in this warm pattern for weeks now. And, you know, December 1st, our good friend Josh Teller was out ice fishing one day. Ever since then, I think he jinxed it because there's been no ice to be found. Matter of fact, this coming weekend, Saturday, they're talking we may even touch 60 degrees. So it's just crazy for this time of year. But the good news is we still got plenty of that open water fishing we've been talking about. Again, touch base with my good friends at Trout Unlimited. They're still out catching tons of brown trout. Go out and hit them again with those spinners and jerk baits. They're going to produce real well for you. Also, I was talking to some guys out in the Delaware River. Eric Fissler, yeah, he's usually known for that shad fishing, but he was out wetting the line in the Delaware getting some walleye, and he got a beautiful 6-pounder the other day, and he told me, George, they are on fire. So if you want to hit the Delaware River, even from shore, those walleye are really biting good. So guys, just bear with us. I'm sure the ice is coming. After all, it's going to be January in a couple days, so stick with it. Enjoy the holiday. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
Had gannets all over the place earlier this week. None to be found here today on Wednesday, but hopefully this weekend. Now, as George said, for this weekend, Saturday, we're looking at near record high temperatures. And taking a look at our midweek NOAA marine forecast, things look pretty good as well. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Again, a little onshore today. We had westerlies earlier this week, seemed to have pushed the fish in close. But if you're heading out on a head boat, you've got a 6-pack already chartered for this weekend. Things look good. Just remember, also, January 1st, we start a new year, which means you're going to need a new license and registration. If you plan on freshwater fishing, as George recommended, you want to go to njfishandwildlife.com, get your trout stamp, get your license all updated. You can do it from there. If you're in Delaware, go to the DNREC website. You can find the information. And of course, if you're fishing these open beaches or doing any saltwater fishing, make sure you get registered. January 1st starts a new cycle. Go get that free saltwater registry. It's at saltwaterregistry.nj.gov. Another reminder for you, there is no Garden State Outdoor Sports Show next Saturday and Sunday. We talked about it in last week's video. That event has been postponed until sometime in August. But if you're in North Jersey or you're in New York, I got a great event for you. The Staten Island Tuna Club's Inshore Offshore Expo and Fisherman's Flea Market. That's from 8 to 2 on Saturday, January 8th. All the information is on the screen. Look for great seminars from Anthony Arcabasio, that's Tony Maja, also Captain Jimmy Frieda, and my friend Captain Brian Rice as well. That's Saturday. And of course, the Fisherman magazine will be down in Wildwood next Saturday and Sunday, January 8th and 9th. That's at Wildwood Fishing and Boating Expo. It's at the Wildwoods Convention Center. You can get more information at fishingexpowildwood.com. Or, of course, you can pick it up and get all that information in the January edition of the Fisherman magazine. Speaking of Jimmy Frieda, Jimmy's son Tommy on the cover of the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition for January. Feature stories in there on Jumbo Tog. That's by Eric Burnley. You can do some solo striper trolling with Captain Scott Newhall. Dave Anderson has a great piece on the Habs needle, along with an informative supply chain article. Should gear you up for getting geared up in January before February 1st. Get all the details with a real seat staffer, Max Christensen. That's all in the January edition, as well as our annual Boat and Motor Buyer's Guide. It's a cool piece that John Raguso puts together. If you're looking to get on the road again in 2022, maybe you're looking for a new platform or you want to repower, pick up that January edition of the Fisherman magazine. Based on 2020 and 2021, just a COVID blur, if you will. So I don't even feel comfortable wishing you a Happy New Year. I just wish you the very best of luck. And instead, I'll keep my fingers crossed. while conveniently and contently chasing these frustrating, annoying, but sometimes thrilling stripers that pop up along the beach from time to time. So with that, I'll let John Canosa take us out.
Happy New Year, Jim.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.